Have you ever stopped to think that the biggest danger might not be what you're not doing, but what you're doing every single day, thinking everything's just fine? Sounds ironic, right? But this could be the exact turning point that either protects your life or puts everything at risk. If you're over 60 and want to age healthily, then these next few minutes are not something you want to miss. Because what you're about to discover isn't being taught in doctors' offices or mentioned in any health campaign. And the scariest part, most people only find out when it's already too late. A lot of folks think a stroke is like a lightning bolt, sudden, unexpected, impossible to predict. But that's a dangerously incomplete truth. In reality, the body whispers before it screams. It sends subtle warning signs, disguised as tiredness, dizziness, or a little confusion. The catch? These signs often show up during the most normal parts of your day, when you feel safest. Learning how to be a healthy senior starts right here, realizing that the real danger hides in the ordinary. Now, maybe you're thinking, but I'm doing everything right. I eat well, go for walks, take my meds. That might sound reassuring, but it can also create a false sense of security. There's a sequence of everyday habits that silently spike your stroke risk, especially during the very first hour of your day. And no, this isn't about your DNA or even your age. It's about your routine. But here's the good news. By understanding and changing these habits, you can reclaim your autonomy, your energy, and yes, your youthful spirit. So before you scroll away, give me just a few moments of your attention. Because what's about to be revealed could protect your mind, your memory, and your freedom to go where you want, when you want. This isn't just another health tip video. It's a life manual. One built on science, wisdom, and years of real experience. And maybe, just maybe, it's exactly what your body has been waiting to hear. Evelyn had always been full of life. At 72, she still tended her rose garden every morning, danced to old boleros with her husband on Sunday nights, and took pride in aging with grace. She was the very picture of someone who knew how to age healthily. But one ordinary Wednesday, something felt off. She later described it as a weird numbness in her left arm, like it had fallen asleep. She chalked it up to a bad sleeping position or maybe a pinched nerve. No big deal, right? But hidden in that brief, fading sensation was a silent alarm, a subtle whisper from the body, warning of something bigger. Sometimes, the body whispers before it shouts. People often imagine a stroke like a thunderclap, loud, violent, out of nowhere. But in reality, it can start as a drizzle. A slight stumble over your words. A bit of dizziness when you stand up. A fleeting weakness on one side of the body. These are easy signs to overlook, especially as we age and start to expect little lapses here and there. But that's where the danger lies. The sooner you recognize the signs, the better your chances of turning things around. Learning how to be a healthy senior begins with learning how to listen to your body, like really listen. I once heard a doctor say, "The body is wise, but it only speaks to those who are willing to hear it." That stuck with me ever since. Evelyn only sought help because her husband insisted. Had she waited a few more hours, she might not be out in that garden anymore. And that's not an exaggeration. For so long, we've been told to be strong, to push through. But aging with health doesn't mean enduring everything. It means knowing when to pause and pay attention. One of the most powerful tools I've learned over the years is keeping a health journal. Nothing fancy, just a simple notebook where you jot down anything unusual. A tingling sensation, a sharp ache, a random dizzy spell. It might sound trivial, but it's like drawing a map before the storm. Especially as we get older, where every new symptom can carry more weight. If you want to keep your independence as you age, start by becoming your own best observer. Now don't get me wrong, this isn't about becoming a hypochondriac. It's not about fear. It's about awareness. There's a huge difference between ignoring the signs and obsessing over them. The sweet spot is somewhere in the middle, knowing what's normal and what's not. If your leg tingles every night, write it down. If your vision blurs after a shower, make a note. These tiny details might save your life down the road. Believe me, aging well is often just a matter of attention. So let me ask you this. If your body were trying to send you a warning, when do you think it would do it? Morning? Afternoon? Would you even notice? Now, what if I told you the most dangerous time of day is exactly when you feel safest? Most people would never guess that one of the most dangerous moments of the day happens right after waking up, between warm sheets and the smell of fresh coffee. But it's true. Research published in the Lancet Neurology has shown that the first hour of the morning sees a major spike in stroke occurrences, especially among older adults. Surprising, right? We tend to think danger lives in high-stress moments, in traffic jams or heated arguments. But ironically, the body is often most vulnerable in those peaceful early moments, just as we're opening our eyes. You see, after hours of lying still, your body undergoes a sudden transition when you wake. Blood pressure rises quickly, heart rate increases, and your blood gets a bit thicker. It's like starting a cold engine and flooring the gas pedal right away. Can you imagine the wear and tear? Learning how to age healthily means understanding moments like these, moments when your body is doing a lot more behind the scenes than you realize. There was a gentleman I once met, Peter, a man who did everything right. Walked every morning, avoided sugar, followed his doctor's orders. But one regular morning, before he even slipped on his slippers, he had a stroke. No warning, no pain, just silence, then collapse. No one had told him that this time of day was the most critical. He had even experienced a TI, what's often called a mini-stroke, just months before. But not a single doctor had explained the urgency of that first hour. Conversations like this one, they could have changed everything. Most seniors wake up thinking about their to-do list. Pay that bill, make some toast, call a grandkid. But while the mind is already sprinting, the body is still waking from deep rest. And here's the problem. We usually jump out of bed, stretching and walking without much thought. But in that rush, the system can short-circuit. If you want to know how to maintain your independence as you get older, look no further than how you begin your day. That first hour, it sets the tone. The good news, you can turn this fragile moment into your strongest ally. All it takes is a gentler start. Wake slowly. Take a few deep breaths. Stretch gently. Sit on the edge of your bed for a minute or two before standing. Sounds too simple to matter, right? But simple doesn't mean unimportant. It means powerful. Aging well isn't about big leaps. It's about small steps done with wisdom and consistency. But what if I told you the danger doesn't end there? That there's something even more common, something almost everyone skips in the morning, that silently fuels this risk even further? Have you ever woken up with a dry mouth and a lightheaded feeling as you stood up, just assuming you slept wrong or didn't rest enough? Well, that might not be it. What you're feeling could actually be dehydration. And no, I'm not talking about wandering the desert for days. I'm talking about everyday hidden dehydration, the kind that builds up night after night and becomes a ticking time bomb for anyone over 60 trying to age with health and dignity. While you sleep, your body still works. You breathe, you sweat a little, your organs keep going. But here's the catch. All that internal activity causes water loss, even if you're not aware of it. And when you wake up and go straight for a hot cup of coffee or a slice of toast, without drinking any water first, you're basically starting your engine dry. And get this, a study in Japan that tracked over 4,000 seniors found that those who drank a glass of warm water right after waking had significantly lower rates of stroke. It's not about a fancy diet. It's not a miracle pill. It's just water. Now, I know what you're thinking. Warm water? Really? But hang on, this isn't hospital tea. Warm water just means room temperature or gently heated. Think of it as a quiet embrace for your insides. It helps wake up your digestive system, supports blood flow, and gently stimulates your circulation. I keep a small glass bottle by my bed with filtered water. The moment I wake up, before my feet even hit the floor, I take slow sips. That tiny ritual has done more for my health than any vitamin I've ever taken. Of course, water alone isn't the whole solution, but it's the gateway habit. A morning drink won't replace hydration throughout the day, but it's during those first moments after waking that your body is most in need, and least likely to receive it. If you're serious about staying sharp and mobile as you age, this one habit can be a game changer. Want to level it up? Try adding a pinch of pink Himalayan salt and a few drops of lemon juice. That combo not only improves absorption, but gives your immune system a gentle kickstart. You see, people talk about aging as if it's this inevitable decline, like the best you can do is slow the fall. But that's not true. Vitality is built. Joviality is earned. And sometimes the simplest things, like water, are the most overlooked. But your body notices. It keeps score. And believe me, it remembers the mornings when you chose to treat it with care. And since we're on the topic of what we do every morning, there's one more thing that sounds harmless, comforting even, but might just be the quietest threat of all. Your body has just spent 6, maybe 8 hours in complete stillness. Circulation has slowed down. Muscles are relaxed. Blood is thickened slightly. And then the alarm goes off. But instead of gently waking up, you hit snooze and lie there still. Just 5 more minutes, you tell yourself. Sounds harmless, right? But for anyone over 60 trying to age healthily, this tiny act of comfort might actually increase your risk of stroke more than you realize. Staying still after waking can cause a sudden drop in blood pressure when you do get up, meaning your brain may not get the oxygen it needs right away. Worse yet, without movement, your blood flow remains sluggish. And if you already struggle with circulation or high blood pressure, this stillness becomes even more dangerous. Maintaining your health in later life isn't about doing more. It's about doing the right things, starting with gentle, intentional movement as soon as the day begins. Think about a car that's been sitting and used for months. When you finally try to start it, it sputters, right? The human body's no different. That's why I always suggest a simple wake-up routine, not a workout. Just subtle signals to the body that it's time to move. Wiggle your toes. Roll your ankles in slow circles. Stretch your arms above your head. Take 3 deep breaths. These little actions take less than 2 minutes, but they're powerful. They're like flipping the on switch without shocking the system. I remember Donna Lucia, she's 81, bright as the morning sun. She created her own little ritual she calls mindful stretching. Every morning before leaving the bed, she slowly rotates her wrists, stretches her spine gently, then sits at the edge of the bed and breathes deeply. She told me that since she started, she hasn't felt that morning dizziness she used to battle. And this is a woman who's had 2 mini strokes in the past. I'm not just trying to live longer, she told me. I'm trying to keep my independence. That's how you age well, with intention. It's funny how we're taught that rest means lying still. But the truth? The body, especially as it ages, needs motion. Not intensity. Not marathons. Just flow. Circulation. Rhythm. Aging with health is a gentle dance between rest and movement. And if your day begins in rhythm, your body follows with grace and energy. But if you stay too long in stillness, that harmony can slip away. So tomorrow morning, when your alarm goes off, resist the urge to snooze. Instead, honor your body with a slow, kind awakening. You don't need a gym. You don't need equipment. Just a few mindful movements. Because a still body might feel safe, but it's motion that keeps you alive. And speaking of movement, there's something else we all do first thing in the morning that could be quietly sabotaging your brain health. The alarm buzzes. You open your eyes, and before you even stretch, your mind is already racing. Bills, pills, appointments, grandkids who haven't called. In less than 2 minutes, your heart is pounding. Stress hits before sunlight does. And this early flood of mental chaos, it's one of the biggest silent threats to brain health, especially for those over 60. Because let's face it, your aging body needs peace, not pressure. And this is where so many people unknowingly go wrong. Here's what most don't know. Research from Harvard shows that cortisol, your body's main stress hormone, is naturally higher in the early morning. That means you're already starting the day on edge. Now layer on negative news, anxiety, social media, or endless mental to-do lists, and your system goes into overload. Blood pressure spikes, heart rate rises, and yes, the risk of stroke climbs dramatically. And all of this happens before you've even had your first cup of coffee. So what's the antidote? I call it a morning buffer. Instead of fueling anxiety, you feed your serenity. Don't grab your phone in the first 30 minutes. Instead, play calming music. Read something uplifting, maybe a page from The Miracle Morning or The Gifts of Imperfection. Or just stand at your window for a minute, breathe, and be grateful. These few simple acts completely reset your nervous system. And yes, they're powerful tools for protecting your brain, your heart, and your ability to age with grace. Let me tell you about Raul. He's 67 and used to experience blood pressure spikes every morning. He thought it was just age. But once he swapped his noisy morning news habit for a gratitude journal and 3 minutes of deep breathing, the spikes disappeared. I never knew silence could heal, he told me. That's the thing. Learning how to be a healthy senior isn't just about what you do. It's about how you think. And a chaotic mind at sunrise is like a leaky faucet of energy loss all day long. Joviality isn't just about having energy, it's about protecting it. Morning stress steals that energy before you even put on your shoes. Many people wake up feeling like they're late for something, even when they're not. That false urgency ages your brain, your heart, and your spirit. So slow down. Give your mind the gentle awakening it deserves. Aging, well, means living on your own rhythm, not rushing to the beat of stress. And speaking of rhythm, what if there was a simple, science-backed way to restart your system every morning? A quiet practice few people talk about, but that could transform your brain health from the inside out. Now that you know what most people don't, and even fewer actually apply, the real question is, what will you do with it? Will you let it drift away like just another video you once watched? Or will you take a real, intentional step toward a life of more autonomy, more awareness, and more vibrant health? If you're serious about maintaining your health in your golden years, it starts with the smallest choices. Wake up gently. Hydrate. Move your body. Protect your mind from stress. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. And if you want to age with health, with energy, with real joviality, it begins right there, in the first few minutes of your morning. So ask yourself, what have you been doing in your mornings? Which of these habits hit close to home? Which ones are you ready to shift, starting tomorrow? And which of them will you pass on to someone you love? Make no mistake, keeping your independence as you age isn't a matter of luck or good genes. It's a daily practice. Today, you've been handed tools that most people never receive. So don't let them gather dust. Use them. Share them. And remember, every small change you make now is a giant leap toward a longer, fuller, freer life. Now tell me, what resonated most with you? Which habit are you committed to changing first? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your story and maybe even reply to you personally. And if this message sparked something inside you, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications because this journey is just getting started. Aging is inevitable, but aging wisely, that is a choice.